Well, every place he's been, Division II on up, he's ended up being the National Coach of the Year at that level. He's led his teams, wherever, Notre Dame, LSU, to 10-plus wins in 7 straight seasons. I think he's one of the smartest guys in the sport. Brian Kelly, 3rd year with LSU, is joining us before he heads out to a golf course. His off-season is about 3 weeks, so he's got the clubs ready right after this interview. Brian, let's start with this. I like Jayden Daniels a lot. If I had the number 2 pick, I would take him. I worry a little bit about his frame, a little bit, but the SEC's got NFL bodies. Is that a fair concern that he is tall and a little thin?
Yeah, but I don't think you lose any sleep. I think if he was a poor decision maker, if he was sloppy with the football, if he couldn't walk into an NFL locker room and lead the guys, then those are things that leave you not getting any sleep. He can put on weight. Those are small concerns. He is a flat-out playmaker. He'll change the look of your franchise, and I think that's why I believe he's the best quarterback in the draft.
Now, LSU doesn't lose a lot of games. What is his temperament if you go to Washington and you get, the media's big and they're loud and it's cold and they're beating up on him and he's 7-10, and what's his makeup, his personality?
Well, in his first year where he struggled at times, he was the same guy each and every week. He went to work. He continued to lead. He worked on his craft. So, this is a guy that, he can handle the ups and downs of it. He got knocked out of the game against Alabama, concussed in the game, and found his way back the next week against Florida and set an NCAA record. So this is a guy that gets knocked down and gets back up the next week.
So Malik Nabers has a little OBJ. LSU is a wide receiver and defensive back factory. He's a yards after the catch guy. Again, let's ask the durability questions. Can he play day one in the NFL? What do you make of Malik Nabers, who people now are saying is a top 5 pick?
Well, again, I had him for 2 years, and in terms of a durability, every day of practice, and I'm talking every day of practice in one-on-ones, going up for balls, competing in the red zone, playing in a bowl game when he didn't need to play in a bowl game. He does not care. He wants to compete every single day. So he's going to answer the bell. He's going to play every game. He's going to compete. It's just in his DNA. It's in his nature. So, look, there are many great wide receivers in this draft. The first 3 or 4 are as good as there have been in a long time. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder when it comes to wide receiver, but he can do it all. The yards after the catch, elite speed, and certainly can go up and get the football. So, again, I think he's going to change the way an NFL team looks, and, again, do it right away.
You did at Notre Dame. Notre Dame, you won early, but you weren't SEC deep early. By the end of your stay, you went toe-to-toe with Georgia twice, and you looked the part. No fool's gold. This was you had backups that would play in the NFL. Part of the secret to beating an SEC team is O-line play. Michigan had it this year, where you can just protect your quarterback. You did a remarkable job at Notre Dame. It became kind of a factory for offensive linemen. Joe Alt is somebody you recruited. I think he's the best tackle. That's what my people say. I don't know if he's Trent Williams. But did you know initially high schooled? Is this what you perceived? First tackle off the board, NFL draft top 10.
Well, I think the only thing that was the question mark was, would he be able to put on the weight necessary to be that anchor? And we felt very confident with our strength and conditioning team and his demeanor and the way he handled things, and of course the pedigree, that he was going to be able to do it. Look, being a left tackle takes more than just length and athletic ability. There are a lot of guys that have that. His demeanor is outstanding. He has a ability to forget and move on to the next play.
Yeah.
The left tackle is going to get the best of the best. I just think, the things that we don't talk about enough with the best offensive lineman is the right makeup. The demeanor of a Joe Alt is that he's a pro's pro. He's going to go to work every day, and he's going to know, you may get me once, but I'm going to learn from that, and I'm going to shut you out when it's most important. And he's a very, very smart football player.
The great coaches in college, I think Nick Saban proved this. He lost a lot of good coordinators. He reinvented his program. They went from corners to receivers and quarterbacks. He reinvented it. He didn't get stubborn. Mike Krzyzewski didn't like the one and done initially, and then he joked, I kept getting beat by one and done guys, so he went one and done. If you start looking at what you're going to have to face now, the transfer portal, NIL, people can grumble about it, but Brian, it's here.
Right.
It's the reality of it. Give me something you like about the transfer portal and NIL. Everybody grumbles about it. You've used it. Deion's used it. Lincoln's used it. Nick used it. Give me something you like about it.
Well, you can manage your roster during this period of time. This second portal where you can't transfer within the SEC, you can manage your roster. Guys that are struggling at this level to play in the SEC, they now can look for an escape route. They can look for a place where they can go and compete somewhere else. And it allows you to bring somebody in that might be at a lower level that can help your roster right away. So the ability to manage your roster in this second portal is a positive thing from that perspective, where it allows kids to get out and find a place and land at a school where they can, in fact, compete, and you can upgrade your roster. So I think that's a positive from that perspective.
When you left for LSU, I said, I totally get it. It's easier to recruit Southern schools, warm weather, than Northern schools. I completely get it. Notre Dame's got academics. It's tougher than average. It's cold weather. It's a small town. I got it. You got some pushback, but I think in the end, most people understood it. The downside is 10 wins is not good enough at LSU. It's like SEC they show up on Wednesday and they're Winnebago for the game. Take me through the move from Notre Dame to LSU. Describe passion for somebody that's never been in the heart of the South.
Well, certainly there was an understanding that we had to retool in a number of ways. The roster was not where it needed to be. And so there is a little bit of grace, but you still have to compete. We won the SEC West in our first year, and certainly in our second year, provided our fan base with the number one offense in the country. So again, you can't just come down here and say, hey, we're going to rebuild. You have to still provide a nationally qualifying football team, which we did. But now the time is such that we've had 2 years. We're building depth within our football team. This has got to be a team that now competes for a playoff spot and puts itself in a playoff situation as we continue to build the depth of this roster, so we can be in the consistent conversation like a Georgia and an Alabama and the teams that have been there each and every year.
Finally, he's getting overlooked because there's so many good receivers, and Malik Nabers and Harrison and Rome Odunze are taking all the press. You have a young man named Brian Thomas, and again, LSU does receivers like nobody else. What is he? What's he like? Describe. If I'd never seen him play and I'm an NFL GM and I haven't popped the tape in, what would you tell me to expect?
Well, first of all, his ability is not just about running 9 routes and going down the field and catching the ball. His ability to break tackles, his ability to make the difficult catches when he is up in the air. I mean, I'm talking about acrobatic catches. A guy that can make the play after the catch. He's got yards after the catch. Again, a unique talent that, again, when you look at it, wins the one-on-one matchups. Look, we had 2 guys that if you doubled anybody, the other guy got one-on-one matchups, and he beat the best. So he's just going to add to an NFL roster, and if you give him one-on-one coverage, he's got elite speed, he's got size, and the ability to make plays after the catch.
All right, I know you're going to go golf. Stay away from Saban. All he does is golf now. Do not stay away from
No
Nick.
doubt.
It's all good for him. He's happy in retirement. Thanks, Brian. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.